Hi and what's up? In today's episode I'm going to be showing you how to make roasted potatoes, and it's going to be a very easy recipe with no effort, and the outcome is going to be super delicious. Mwah. Yeah. Mwah. So thank you so much for clicking on this video, and if you enjoy watching my videos, don't forget to give my videos a thumbs up, and all the ingredients you'll find in the description box down below. So without further ado, over here I have my potatoes. They're small sized potatoes, and I have a pot of boiling water. So what I'm going to do, the water is almost boiling, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut my potatoes in half because they're not that big. They're baby potatoes. Let me say they're baby potatoes. If you've ever come across a very crunchy potato in a restaurant, today I'm going to show you that recipe. So my water has come to a boil, and I'm done chopping chopping the potatoes in half. So I'm going to add salt to my water. You add a generous amount so that the potatoes will be well seasoned. And then I'm going to pick a skimmer and carefully place my potatoes in the water, just like that, to make sure every potato is submerged in the water, because you want the potatoes to be evenly boiled. So while my potatoes are boiling, I'm going to be chopping up 3 cloves of garlic. I want to add flavor to my potatoes because potatoes are usually bland. I'm going to give my garlic a rough chop, and at this point you're going to preheat your oven at 220 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, and line a baking tray with parchment paper just as our potatoes are boiling. So this is how I've lined my tray with parchment paper. If you don't have the parchment paper, you can simply use the baking tray. So this is how it's looking. This is just a rough chop, and then I'm going to place this aside. I have a mortar and pestle over here, so I'm using dried rosemary. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some dried rosemary in my mortar, and then I'm going to use my pestle and grind into smaller pieces because I didn't have the fresh rosemary. I usually store my rosemary when it is dry. You know, sometimes you have rosemary in the house and then it dries off. Please don't throw that away. Just put it in the sun, let it dry completely, and then you can store in a jar, and you can use in future cooking. Yeah, so that is what I usually do. Even basil and thyme. It's been around 10 minutes, so this is how my potatoes are looking. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off the heat, and then I'm going to drain the water. So now I'm going to place a small pot, add a 1/4 cup of cooking oil, add in butter, add in my garlic, and then I'm going to add in my rosemary. Stir in everything to combine. Let the garlic and rosemary cook until fragrant. And now my potatoes I've already transferred my potatoes to a bowl. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss around the potatoes so that the edges can be a little coarse. So this is how they're looking. As you can see, the edges are not very straight, they are coarse, and that is what I'm looking for. So as my garlic is cooking, I'm going to add in a little bit of black pepper. Make sure I spread around. Toss around once more. Check on my garlic and it's ready. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want the garlic to get burnt, I'm going to turn off the heat, and then I'm going to take a sieve, transfer my oil into my potatoes. Now I'm going to mix in the oil into the potatoes. Let the potatoes soak in the yumminess. Make sure every potato is coated with the goodness, and then I'm going to transfer into my baking tray. And then I'm going to spread the potatoes. So this is how they're looking. So I'm going to spread the potatoes so that they can roast evenly. So I'm going to roast my potatoes for about 30 to 35 minutes, and in the 17th to 18th minute, I'm going to flip the potatoes so that they can roast the other side. My roasted potatoes are ready, and I love how they are crunchy on the outside and moist, so moist on the inside. So they are going to be absolutely delicious, and you can pair these roasted potatoes with any dish, or you can eat as they are and you're going to enjoy.